Donald Trump and his media group now sue the Washington Post, and it's not a small lawsuit. They want $3.7 billion, which is a nice verdict. Would be very useful if they received it. In the complaint, it is Trump Media and Technology Group versus the Washington Post, the Bezos institution that shovels a ton of garbage news down our gullets. Filed in the state of Florida out of Sarasota County for libel and slander as the case type. Here is what we see. Donald Trump and the media group now seek compensatory and punitive damages in the sum of $3.78 billion, or a greater amount if the jury so determines. Here's why. They say Trump and the media group, also known as Truth Social, exists. And on May 13, 2023, the Washington Post, acting in concert with a former employee of TMTG, who was terminated for cause, published an egregious hit piece that falsely accused Trump media of securities fraud and other wrongdoing. WAPO's false criminal charges exposed the Trump organization to public ridicule, contempt, distrust, and they injured the reputation. Now, Trump's team says Washington Post has been on a years-long crusade against Trump and Truth Social, characterized by concealment of various information. Ironic for an organization whose motto is democracy dies in darkness. The WAPO's latest defamation creates an existential threat for Trump and the media group, causing enormous loss. And so the media group now brings this case to recover special damages. Trump is located in Delaware, so is Washington Post. WAPO has 2.5 million digital subscribers, 20 million follow him on Twitter. They're all over the place. They publish to millions. And here's what happened. On March 15, 2023, The Guardian published an article saying federal investigators examined Trump media for possible money laundering. The Guardian article contained false statements and defamatory implications, including that federal investigators had examined TMTG for money laundering and other things. They say that federal prosecutors involved in the criminal investigation into Trump examined whether it violated money laundering statutes and other things. But the source of The Guardian's story was a former employee called Will, who was terminated for cause. Previously, Wilkinson began to concoct and publicly shop false stories about Truth Social to the media. By May 2023, Wilkerson, same guy Will, had come up with yet another fake news story, and the Washington Post and others eagerly posted them. Through a series of meetings, the Washington Post took to meet with them, and they published another clickbait headline talking about being linked to problematic banks, seeking many statements about this. But they kept publishing the false and defamatory statements, saying the Truth Social saga just keeps getting weirder, saying that they were involved in a bank that does pornography and were taking mysterious loans out of Caribbean islands. People were posting this all over Mastodon. Harwell republished a post to 67,000 Mastodon followers, saying that Truth Social was borrowing money from an adult entertainment bank. They had another clickbait headline: Trust linked to porn-friendly bank could gain a stake in Trump's Truth Social. They're going to be bought up by pornographers. So Truth says, no, not so fast. The statements immediately conveyed a defamatory meaning to readers. The express meaning and the defamatory gist of the statements is that Truth Social committed securities fraud, or they did something bad and they were now having to align themselves with a problematic bank. To reinforce this, TMTG engaged in securities fraud. They included the story of, quote, an investor who was injured after he spent $561,000 on a DWAC and lost his life savings, trying to smear Trump and Truth Social. These statements were republished millions of times. The statements are materially false. TMTG did not conceal or fail to disclose any information to anybody. TMTG never paid any finder's fee, never did that at all. No brokerage associated with them. Orlando didn't get any fees. The statements are knowing falsehoods. Truth Social did not improperly disclose anything. In fact, quite the opposite. Any reasonable juror can conclude that an elected official, if he searched for evidence to support baseless claims, but they had an agenda, saying WAPO statements were not published in good faith at all. The falsity of the statements is not due to an honest mistake of the facts. There are no reasonable grounds for believing the statements are true. Therefore, this is defamatory. You can see the first cause of action is defamation. By publishing those false statements, they committed defamation. And let's see if there's any other complaints here. Conspiracy? Working together in a colluded effort to smear Trump and Truth. And wherefore, True Social and the Trump Media Group now ask for compensatory damages of $2.78 billion. And they also want punitives in the amount of $1 billion on top of it. And they want prejudgment interest as well as any other relief that the court deems to be appropriate. Signed by Jason Coble from Tampa, Florida, on behalf of Donald Trump. $3.7 billion would be a nice payday for True Social and the Trump Media Group. We'll see if there is any recourse against the Washington Post as they continue to spread their version of political news, their fake news, their narratives to support their party. They have many tools in their belt to go and wage this political warfare all across Twitter and their media conglomerates. Donald Trump fighting back.